airspace. Congressman Adam Kinzinger is a pilot in the Air National Guard. He's flown surveillance missions. He's also served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Joins us now from Chicago. Congressman, thanks for being here.
Hey, Leland.
Interesting, John Kerry on either Thursday or Friday said, hey, look, this was very dangerous, strong words. He said, we could have shot that plane down that buzzed the U.S. Navy ship. More important question, why wasn't it shot down?
Well, look, I give a lot of credit to the commander here. If I was the commander of that ship, I can't say I would have made the same decision. I would have felt threatened. My guess is, he took the situation, probably saw that there were no missiles on the plane, even though he could have had a loaded gun. And in a strafing run, that's the kind of thing you do. And he made the decision not to shoot. But look, the Russians have got to understand they're playing with fire. They have an economy the size of Italy. They're messing with the largest economy and the largest military in the world. And at some point, patience is going to run out, and one of these commanders is going to feel threatened and is going to make very quick work of these aircraft. It's like what Turkey did, frankly, against the Russian plane not that long ago. The Russians claimed that there would be consequences, and there are none because they, frankly, don't have consequences to give.
But you just said they have to understand they're playing with fire. But after so many repeated harassments of U.S. planes, whether it be flying nuclear bombers near U.S. territory on July 4th, whether it be what we're seeing right now, harassing U.S. surveillance planes, they have to think to themselves, we're not playing with fire because we've done all this all these times and we're not getting burned yet. Is there any reason to think the Obama administration is going to change the rules of engagement here?
Well, I think the rules of engagement are set up probably pretty clearly and set up to defend. This is not new compared to how it was in the Cold War. In the Cold War, you had a lot of things like this. I'm not sure you had planes flying 30 feet from a naval ship, which is very dangerous. But look, at the end of the day, one of these, I believe, if this keeps continuing, one of these is going to escalate into shots fired. And then you could escalate, frankly, into a conflict between the United States and Russia that nobody wants to see. But Vladimir Putin is flexing his muscle. And part of the message here is he feels no pushback from President Obama, whether it's in Syria, whether it's in Ukraine, whether it's in the third of Georgia that's occupied. He's feeling no pushback, so he's very emboldened. This is time for the administration to continue to do the buildup in Eastern Europe, as well as giving offensive weapons to the Ukrainians who are still fighting an insurgency, and Russian as in the East.
Yeah, well, so far we haven't given any of those lethal weapons, offensive weapons to the Ukrainians. What message do you think, Congressman, this sends to our allies around the world if the United States is willing to let its ships be buzzed by Russian fighter jets who conceivably could very easily open fire with no consequences? We're not willing to protect ourselves. Does that say to our NATO allies and others, hey, look, you're on your own?
I think it sends a very poor message. You look at what Russia's doing, you look at, the spread of ISIS and extremism and how long it took to recognize that. You look at the Chinese building fake islands in the South China Sea with minimal pushback. I think the message is America's kind of backing away from the world stage. Look, we're not. We need to re-engage, and it's important as Republicans that our front runners say things about that too, because when they give messages about retreat, withdraw, isolation, that also sends a very bad message about what the next administration could look like. So, yeah, we need to re-engage. We need to show the world we're still in charge, and that needs to be done by this president. Unfortunately, that's not the message sent.
Well, you can imagine that a very clear message would be sent if, to your point, one of those commanders decided to shoot down a Russian plane that came too close. Wanted to get your thoughts on this video out of Iran today from their national military parade. One of the things we don't see in the video, but it's very important, is that the Iranians just received the S-300 anti-aircraft missile system from Russia. Give us your thoughts in terms of how this changes the balance of power in the Middle East now that Iran has this very sophisticated air defense system. Are they now sort of immune to any kind of airstrikes?
No, they're not immune. The United States and its allies are very capable of taking out any Russian system, but it obviously steps up the level of danger. It obviously makes very difficult our response and our ability to put the Iranians in their place. Look, Iran wants hegemony in the Middle East. They're doing it in Yemen. They're doing it in Syria. They're doing it by supporting Hezbollah. This is a big situation, and again, we need more pushback. It's not doing it.
Well, Iran's growing with Russia's help to that point. Representative, Congressman, appreciate you being on, sir. Have a good Sunday.